Hey, beautiful souls, beautiful sunshine here with DR Holistic Healer, aka Sonia B. I actually forgot to give you guys the second part. There was another part, a different message that came through the night before. So, the message that I gave you guys earlier in regards to seeing the movie credits going, that one came through this morning, but there was a message that actually came through yesterday. I didn't have time to post it, or yesterday morning, but I didn't have time to post it. I actually had some things that I had to take care of. But anyway, so with that being said, let me just give you the quick message. So that message came through in a sense of as if there was somebody who was like, in so many words, it's kind of like I was seeing somebody bullying somebody in a sense. So I say all that to say, if some of you guys are finding yourself in these relationships to where like you're being bullied, or people have a tendency of kind of like making you the butt joke of every conversation, and there's a difference between laughing and kikiing with somebody, but there's a difference between somebody constantly doing this and putting you on blast around other people. So keep this in mind, because I did see it as if it was somebody who was around other people, but somebody was kind of calling somebody out and was kind of laughing about it in the sense like they thought it was funny, but the other person didn't necessarily think it was funny. So with that being said, some of you guys are being asked to release and let go of things that is no longer serving you. A part of self-respect is about not allowing others to disrespect you in any sort of way at all, period. So I say all that to say, and I know that everybody's not on that journey or in that mindset of just necessarily letting go of people. Some people tend to hold on people, not that I'm judging, but some people tend to hold on to people because it's a comfort zone for them, because it's a pacifier for them, because it's what they know, it's what they're used to, it's what they're used to doing. So with that being, thank you, Spirit. And with that being said, Spirit is also saying that some of the codependency, thank you, Spirit, some of the codependency behavior is coming, even stimulating from childhood issues. So I say all that to say that that we all, not all of us, but most of us in some sort of way, shape, or form, because everybody doesn't experience the necessary trauma or emotional issues that some people have had to deal with. But I say all that to say, most people who usually tend to end up having childhood trauma issues or emotional issues, should I say, where either one or both of the parents may have shut you down in some sort of way, to the point that you have built up a defense mechanism in order to comfort yourself and to stay in control of the situation. So that way, it's almost like that defense mechanism. In other words, that we do certain things out of comfort, and sometimes when we do things out of comfort isn't necessarily the right and the healthy thing to do. So with that being said, you're gonna have to distinguish, you know, why am I doing the things that I'm doing? Why am I holding on to people that God is asking me to release? And even if you feel like God is not guiding you, there's your higher self that is guiding you. Because I saw, like I said before, I saw that some of you guys are being led by your higher selves at this point. When you get to a certain point on your spiritual journey, you have guides that are assisting you along the way to help you to cross that finish line, to get to the movie credits, like I said, to get to that end of the rope. And oh my God. So with that being said, we all are learning the soul lessons of releasing and letting go of people who do not serve our higher and our soul purpose in this next chapter that God wants to take. Excuse me. In this next chapter where God wants to take you, these people, one or two things: they're not ready to go and they're not meant to go. So you have to keep that in mind too. So in other words, is we all have our point in times where we're having to do the necessary spiritual work that it takes to get to certain levels. Because take the spiritual journey as lessons that we're all learning. So once you learn one lesson, you move on to the next lesson. Which is usually, you find yourself having a little bit more peace, a little bit more happiness, and so on and so on. It's through each level that you tend to shift and go through. So keep that in mind as well too. So with all that being said, some of you guys are being presented with the choice of, again, releasing people that do not serve your higher and your soul purpose. And again, it is not our jobs to fix anyone or to hold anyone's hand, to give them a bottle, give them a pacifier. It's us mainly meant to hold space for people. In other words, you keep them in your heart, but you keep them at a distance, and you allow them to learn, especially those people who aren't healthy. It's a matter of just letting them go, wishing them well, and and releasing them. I did a message on that some time ago. And then it's, for those people who are always constantly nurturers, people who tend to care for other people, people who are the empaths, I'm not saying that, it's just them, because sometimes people are empaths, but sometimes they put up these walls and these barriers. And, sometimes it's almost like an empath can turn into almost like a narcissist in a sense. So keep that in mind too. Just because you've been hurt, you've been through this, you've been through that. So the first thing you say to yourself, well, let me put up these walls, these defense mechanisms, let me play ghost, let me ghost people, as a way to hurt them before they hurt me. And that isn't healthy as well either. So, a part of empath is about being, your true authentic self. And it's almost like having that heart of God. So in other words, it's like it's like you're being empathetic towards other people. You understanding their situations, you understanding their circumstances, but you're not allowing those situations and circumstances to basically take you under, in a sense. And I say all that to say, because we are shifting into the era from the age of Pisces into the age of Aquarius, no more of self-sacrificing. We can no longer do that any longer. So I say all that to say, for those of you who are nurturers and you do care about people, and people seem to think that you don't care about them, I say all that to say that it's no longer of us sacrificing ourselves for these people out here. So it's a matter of allowing people to do the necessary work that they need to do. It's not about taking any shortcuts, because I did a message on that too as well. God said none of you are going to be taking shortcuts. It's a matter of doing the work. So with that being said, not only that, but then I did do a message probably last year around about this time, or it's coming up on this time, I think last November. Well, God was showing me that some people were pretending to be spiritual and they were not. That can apply to a lot of people who are just sitting on these various different platforms that you're going to just have to be mindful of, and using your discerning spirit of, who you feel like your higher self or your intuition or your gut feeling is telling you who to trust and who not to trust, should I say. Because again, there are people out here, whether it's people trying to be in relationships and whether they're trying to get with certain people and they're trying to pretend like they're spiritual, or whether it's just people out here spiritually just trying to, how can I say it? Lead people in a sense, but I can't even say whether they're doing it intentionally or not, because that's not what God showed me. But, well, he did show me, no, I'm sorry, I take that back. He did show me it was the intentions of making somebody think that certain people were trying to present themselves as being spiritual, and they were not, should I say. So with that being said, and this was pertaining to like relationships, maybe, could be a situation of whether it be a romantic situation or whether it be a friendship situation, in some sort of way. Thank you, Spirit. From what I'm hearing is it was a matter of people trying to put up that front, in the sense of putting up that front, because it's almost like they wasn't being their authentic selves, because it's like they wasn't really doing the work, is what I'm getting. But it was almost like a form of people pleasing, in a sense, is how this person was kind of coming off, and making it seem like they were spiritual. So anyway, if you are finding yourself dealing with situations that you feel like you're being bullied in a workplace situation, a family dynamic situation, a spousal situation, a co-worker situation, hell, just even out here on the street situation. I'll give you a classic example. Thank you, Spirit, because I was just about to end this video, but Spirit wanted me to bring my situation yesterday. So yesterday I was busy taking care of running some errands, but not only running some errands, when I came home, I had to make a couple of phone calls. So here's the thing. What happened to me when I got home, my daughter told me that I had scheduled something that needed to be looked at in my home or whatever, so I had to call the home warranty, reach out to them, something that needed to be fixed in a home. Well, need I remind you, this is a situation of, I had scheduled an appointment. They were supposed to come out on Tuesday. Well, when I initially talked to the lady, after the home warranty sent me to kind of like a third party person that they have that's affiliated with their services that they contract. When I called them, the lady answered the phone and she basically said, the name of the company, but I can just tell that her attitude was just like a little relaxed, should I say. And then there's a difference between, and I get it. A lot of us are working from home now, and I'm not saying that we're not meant to get out of the whole, what do you call it? we're meant to get out of the whole hustle and bustle type mentality, but there's a difference with just having just a little bit more of standard, should I say, when when trying to be a little professional, should I say. And I say that to say, because I know there's been times where I kind of showed up in my robe, should I say, when I did a video, because I felt like it was an important message that I need to get out. And that's the difference between the two. But I'm not justifying my situation opposed to somebody else's. But if you basically want in other words, it's almost like a sense, having a sense of somewhat of a not, it's a balance. Thank you, Spirit. It's a balance between the two. It's not doing too much of one thing and not doing too less of one thing. So in other words, it's almost like having, because a lot of us are working from home nowadays, it's almost like having to balance that, you know, not necessarily living up to society standards of what it means to be professional, but at least having some sort of standards in the process, but not being too relaxed or being, too lazy in the process. But anyway, so with that being said, she answered the phone, and I told her I wanted to schedule an appointment. She looked up the order number and saw that, that I had an order with them or whatever. So anyway, just how my home warranty works. But anyway, so with that being said, she told me, she said, well, okay, well, we have an appointment for tomorrow, which was supposed to be for Monday. And at first I said, okay. But I guess it was a good thing that I didn't go with that day, because I actually, no, actually I had already scheduled that appointment. Okay, so anyway, she told me initially when I talked to her, she said, we have an appointment for Monday. She said, no. She said, I'm so sorry. Monday is not available. We have Tuesday. So I said, okay, Tuesday is fine. And she told me Tuesday was between the time frame of, I want to say like 9 and 1 or something like that they do. Monday was supposed to be between 9 and 1. But when she told me that she couldn't do Monday, the first available is Tuesday. So I said, okay, between 10 and 2. So I said, okay. So need I remind you, I left my home yesterday to go run my errands. And I just wanted you to know, like, it was a situation. I come back home, and then my kids were telling me that, somebody had showed up at the house. And I was like, what? And I'm sorry, y'all, did it face go again. My son was just talking about that the other day. So anyway, so when they told me that somebody showed up at the home, I thought right then and there, that was, that wasn't acceptable for me. Like, immediately the red flag went off. So with that being said, I called the lady and I asked her, I said, I'm sorry. I said, I said, we had a schedule for Tuesday. Initially, you told me Monday, but then you said, no, you could not do Monday, to basically scratch that off, that the appointment was for Tuesday. So I said, I don't understand why somebody's showing up at my door, trying to come and fix something when the appointment was the next day. And she was like, and need I remind you, when I called her, when I got back home, this is the second time, she sounded like she was halfway asleep when she answered the phone. So, and I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with taking a nap in the middle of the situation, but take it how it resonates. But I mean, at least myself, I schedule certain times that I do go and have a little me time, in within a time frame, should I say. But anyway, I'm not being judgmental. I'm just saying, I just thought it was unprofessional. So with that being said, her response to me was, when I told her, I said, well, your guy came out here on a day that he should not have come out here. And I was like, that's not acceptable. And she was like, well, yeah, did anybody let him in? So that lets me know she was a little disoriented. So it was confirming what I thought, that, it sounded like she had just woken up from a nap, or the phone call woke her up from a nap. So with that being said, I could have easily sat there and said, yeah, I'm going to just go ahead and let these people come on out to my house, even though they have already violated the boundaries that were set in place. The appointment was for Tuesday, not for Monday. So when I told her, I said, your appointment was for Tuesday. You initially said Monday, but then you said no. The oh my God, Mercury retrograde. Sorry, y'all. The first available appointment was on Tuesday. And then she was like, well, yeah, but did you let them in? I said, no, I didn't let them in. And she was like, well, they can't come back out to your house. So need I remind you, she was all disoriented, because I never said anything at all about them coming back out. So I said, no, I wasn't asking you to have them to come back out. And then I told her, I said, you know what, let me call you right back in about 5 or 10 minutes. So, I got off the phone with her, and I basically called the home warranty and basically let them know I do not want those people coming out to my house. One, because they showed up at my house on a day that they should not have showed up. And I'm not saying that, this Mercury retrograde isn't like, messing with people's communication, like, because even me saying something, you guys can kind of misconstrue what I'm saying, even during this process, or just what I'm trying to say in general. So with that being said, I called them and I basically let them know, but then their attitude was kind of almost the same too. So when I called the people at the home warranty, he was like, and need I remind you, I was being tested twice from one company, one of their contracting companies, and then from the home warranty itself. So I called the gentleman back and I said, hey, I said, listen, I had a situation where one of your contractors was supposed to come out tomorrow, but they came out to my house today. I said, I think that's so unprofessional. And he kind of like was dismissing what I was saying in a sense. So he was like, okay, so well, did you reschedule with them? And I said, I'm not rescheduling with them. I need you to give me another contractor's name on that list because I'm not dealing with them. And then he came back with something else. I said, no. And it's almost like either he was misunderstanding what I was saying or he was trying to get me to accept, no, go to that company. And I said, no. I said, I'm telling you right now, I refuse to go to that company that you handed me, because the way it works is whoever's name is up on the list next, I guess they distribute the workload evenly. Whoever's name comes up when they pull up the computer system, who's in the area, that's who they kind of giving you. So I said, I do not want that person's name on the list. Go down to the next person's name on the list because I do not want to deal with that person. And I told him if he could not accept that, to refund me back my money. So at that point in time, when I said that to him, he basically, it's kind of almost like he shifted himself into, okay, listening to what it was that I was saying. So with all that being said, he gave me another provider, another person. And need I remind you, I had to go through 2 other people because my spirit was like, nope, not that person. And then another person, it was just like, because he was trying to get me to accept these other people's time frames of when they were available, but he wasn't asking me when I was available. So I said, you know what? No, that's not working for me. I said, here's the thing. I said, you keep trying to set me up these time frames with all these people that you're getting in contact with, but not once asking me, is that time available for me as well too? I said, not only, I said, it should be even. I said, not only that it revolves around me, but it should also be a matter of whether they have availability and whether I am available too. So he got both of us on the line with the next person, and he said, well, is that a good time for the other person? He also asked me, was that a good time? I said, yes. I said, thank you. I said, because it's not a matter of me working around other people's times. I got stuff I have to do too. So I think I kind of got on his nerves a little bit, but that's okay because he needs to understand, because sometimes these people and these companies think that you're supposed to accept certain things from them. And I'm like, no, because I know if I wouldn't give a bullshit ass service to somebody else, I'm not going to accept a bullshit ass service from somebody else, especially if I have to pay them and give them my money. And need I remind you, there's one more incident too. Like my son has a appointment that he had been, my son has an appointment. So it got to the point that I kind of got tired of dealing with these people, with his foot doctor, should I say. So I say all that to say, I basically had an appointment with them, supposed to be like on Friday, but I immediately started looking because my spirit was like just getting stirred up. It's like, I'm tired of dealing with these people, because it's almost like as long as they got your money, then after that point, it's almost like they for this gentleman, he started off being one way, and then all of a sudden it's like he started pushing his workload off onto his what do you call them, people in training, should I say. And I was like, I didn't care for that, because I don't want to hear their opinion. You were the one who ordered the certain product, so because you ordered it, therefore if you should be responsible and take responsibility rather than shift the workload off onto the other people. So if I'm thinking I'm dealing with you, I'm supposed to be dealing with you. And I had to tell him basically there are too many hands in a pot, and that's too much for me. I can't deal with that. So with that being said, I immediately found another place to go. And I got the energy and the vibes of the place was a better place to be, should I say. So with that being said, I basically called the other foot doctor back that we had been dealing with probably like the last 3 years, 3.5 years or whatever. And I basically, because the girl at the front, that's what's she kind of give me attitude here and there when I'm challenging her. And a lot of times when you challenging people don't like that. So it's not the fact that I'm sitting there purposely trying to make her job hard, but because I question things, because I read things, And they're not expecting people to sit there and read these long ass contracts, agreements, and so on and so on. But that's what I do. I read it. Yes, it's time consuming. Yes, it takes up a lot of my space, but I read it because I want to make sure that I understand that you're not going to try to bullshit me. Like so many, as an example, like so many of these artists and stuff kind of get thrown underneath the bus with these producers and stuff because they don't read stuff. So yes, it's time consuming. It takes a lot of my energy, but I'd rather read, take notes along the way, and ask them questions. So what do you mean by this, and that? So with that being said, the young lady at the front desk, anytime I've tried to, basically say, hey, no, I'm not putting up with this. Like there was one time I definitely had to walk out of the appointment because they had us sitting there almost an hour. And then it was like, oh, well, where are you going? I was like, oh, no, we're not doing this because I got things I got to do. And my son has things he has to do. You're not going to sit here and waste our time while you're doing whatever it is you're doing. You should have at least come into the room a whole hour. That is not acceptable. So I literally got up and walked out or whatever. So I say all that to say, sometimes you guys are going to have to stand up, whether it's to friends, other people, I don't care who it is. If you feel like somebody is disrespecting your child, a teacher, whoever, you do not have to accept the stuff that people are making you think that you have to accept. I'm not saying go around here being rude. You treat people how you want to be treated. In other words, I talk to these people the same way that I would have somebody who would probably talk to me the same way if I was in that situation, So in other words, I'm not going in there, I'm not doing that. I am speaking to people just how I'm kind of speaking to you, with trying to make it a point to not come from my from emotional standpoint when I'm delivering these messages, but I'm just trying to keep a balance, because obviously if I'm saying something about something has stirred me up in a sense that I know is wrong and my spirit is not going for it. So with all that being said, if you guys decide that you want to keep dealing with the situation of people treating you certain type of ways, whether it be wiping their foot off on you like you're a doormat. And I'm not saying that as judgmental. I know how that feels because I know people have done that to me, should I say, and in the past. So I say all that to say that I know there are people out there who don't appreciate some of the things that you do. There are people out there who make you the joke or like I said, the butt joke of every conversation when you're around other people. I know what all that feels like, should I say, and just constantly having to keep defending yourself in the process of that. No, just remove yourself. You don't have to deal with that. I don't care who it is, family, whoever, co-workers, boss, whoever the case may be. It's up to you what you choose to deal with when people are dishing out certain things. So I say all that to say, I am in a process of teaching people how to treat me. So in other words, you will not disrespect me. I don't disrespect you, so I will not allow you to disrespect me. So with all that being said, and I know y'all, sometimes when I sit up here and wear this tank top, I know sometimes it be, this little thing be protruding out right here. Sometimes it just came from out of nowhere. Anyway, I don't know what it is. But anyway, so with that being said, it's up to you how you choose to handle that situation. Just know that if you find yourself still in this situation because you're afraid to let go and let God, just know that you're going to find yourself continuously to keep dealing with that situation until you have a different mindset. So with all that being said, I hope that information was helpful. And I always try to give you guys examples of things that I have to deal with and how I have to stand up for certain things. So don't think that when I come on here, it's just tying into one particular situation. Again, it could be a situation of a romantic partner, somebody that you met, a friend. I had to release friends too because the scales wasn't balanced. I had to release people, family members, because again, the scales wasn't balanced. I had to release so-called associates back in the day, or people I thought were friends, because again, I feel like the scales wasn't balanced. So in any situation, if the scales aren't balanced, then you need to ask yourself, is it even worth your time, your energy, and your effort? Because trust me, it takes a lot of energy to keep dealing with people who are negative. So being around negative people is not a go for me. That is a no-go. And I've learned that I enjoy my peace. I'd rather be at peace and be alone rather than to be around those who are pulling energy from me, or taking my time and energy and draining it, should I say. So with all that being said, I'm not worried about letting go, because I know that as I let go of those who do not serve me, that God is going to replace them with people who will um be on the same frequency as myself, be like-minded like me, and how can I say it, and wanting the same things out of life, you know. So anyway, I'm not saying that they're like me, but they're individual too. But at the same time, it's just like we're on the same frequency, we're on the same mindset, you know, we want the same things out of life. So again, I hope you guys have a beautiful day. And I just wanted to say, and for those of you who are new to my channel, welcome. I know that's kind of late. And those of you returning, I want to say welcome back. And keep in mind, for those of you who do not know, and just your first time clicking on this video, I am an intuitive, clairvoyant, yoga empath who receives divine prophetic dream messages. Excuse me. And I also receive intuitive messages as well as intuitive messages through song. I am a spiritual translator, and I translate messages from the spiritual world into this physical 3D world to help assist souls on their journey. So with all that being said, I wish you all much love, much light. Until the next time. Bye.